It's Cardboard Time, episode number 120, and I'm your host, Arwen Kathke. So I'm doing things a little bit differently for today's episode. We have been incredibly busy getting ready to get married. Allie and I will be married in 6 days, which is amazing. But that has kept us incredibly busy, and we have had a lot to do. You notice the gap in episodes, and thank you for sticking with me. It's much appreciated. And with the way that the world is right now, it's a scary place. But I did want to bring you a little bit of joy and a wonderful interview that I did with the folks at Opal Grove Games, just to lift your spirits up and remind you about the importance of community in the hobby. I think that's something that we all need to really recognize and really take into focus as we move forward through 2025 and into 2026. Really building community and really focusing on that, because that's going to be so important moving forward. So, no Shelf of Aspiration update. It's too much work right now. I've got a lot on my plate, but I promise there will be a huge update coming up. I swear. I promise, once I'm married and we don't have nearly as much to do, we will be updating you on that. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I really enjoyed this interview, and I am very pleased to bring it to you. So, no ending. You know how to get a hold of me. You know where I am as far as Instagram and the like. So, just go there. Just listen to an old episode if you need it. Anyways, we'll see you later. On today's interview segment, I have Aisha and Rowan of Opal Grove Games with me. And as a side note, we are recording live here from the store. I am so excited to finally be here with y'all. Opal Grove is a game store in downtown Detroit, Michigan that I finally now had the opportunity to visit since I met the two of them at Gamma this year. Aisha and Rowan, welcome to Cardboard Time.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
And I have to say, I love this space. I've only been able to explore a little bit of it, but it feels like community in here, even though it's the three of us and then Allie's in a side room doing some work, so she's actually getting things done. How did the store get started?
So my partner Ben and I used to go to this New Year's party every year. We would go to Grand Rapids, actually, and we would be with 30 or 40 people over the course of a weekend just playing games. Play testing, it's board games, it's role-playing games, it's video games even. There's like a Mario tennis tournament every year.
Wow, that's quite the variety.
Yes, absolutely. And we had this great time with all these people, and that was kind of how I got to know Ben's college friends and start tapping into this wider community. But then we would come back home every year to Detroit, and Ben kind of had all of these stores that they had been frequenting before we really started dating that were suddenly not great options anymore because those same stores were pretty unfriendly to me. Mm-hmm. And so we'd come home and it felt every year like we were sort of losing that community that we really only got to experience in those few days. And eventually I was kind of like, I want that for us. You know, I want that at home all the time. Would you open a game store with me? And I was sort of 30% joking about it. But Ben said yes. And so we actually started looking into, like, what does that mean? How does that work? How does one retail?
How do I do the thing?
Exactly. Neither of us had ever worked in retail before. And so fast forward to now, I'm very, very grateful for the two employees that I have because they do have some experience. And yeah, we just sort of went from there. We built the thing that we wanted to see.
Rowan, how'd you get started?
Yeah, so I was looking for work around the holidays in 2023. I really was not a fan of my job at the time. And so I was like doing something that I usually don't do, which is just like mass reaching out on contact forms. And I also made sure to be like, even if you're just looking for like a part timer during the holidays, like I'm happy to help. Just trying to get out of where I was. And then Aisha reached out. We had a lovely interview. I don't remember a lot of it because I think I was really nervous. I remember talking about Pokemon a whole bunch.
That did happen, yes.
That did absolutely happen. But then we decided to do a kind of like working interview type deal. Like you brought me on and then that was at the market. And then literally days later, they're like, how would you feel being full time?
Yes. I very specifically needed someone for like a week because we were split between two locations and there were only two of us. And I was like, we're going to need to eat and, go to the bathroom at some point. Mm-hmm. Someone else needs to be in the mix.
And this also, too, was a really busy, like, holiday market, like, downtown Detroit. It's called the Cadillac Market. Happens every year. We'll actually be there again this year. It starts in November, and we'll have a booth there. Ooh. But it is very, very hectic. Like, you're talking to thousands of people a day.
Oh.
So, and it's these really, like narrow, like...
Yeah,
like
we're talking about, like, a 10 by 10
yes.
room that is outside.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's the store.
You have to step away and go get a hot chocolate or like mm-hmm. make sure that your toes are not cold anymore. And so it's very helpful to have another person.
Just take care of basic human essentials as you're trying not to freeze your butt off in downtown
Correct.
Detroit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The retail experience.
And so, yeah, Rowan joined what was supposed to be like a 10-day contract and was immediately so good at the job that I was like, please stay with me.
I need your help, please. So I do want to come back to that thought of community in a little bit, but a lot of people ask, how do you choose what to stock as far as games, as far as plushies? I see you have cantrip candles out there. How do you make those choices and what to stock in the store?
Yeah. It's definitely been a process, a learning process for me. Like I said, I am coming to this knowing that I came into this knowing that I knew nothing, basically. And I didn't want to end up in a situation that I see fairly commonly where people get into gaming as a retailer because they really love games. And they will buy the things that they like and try to convince people to like them as well. And sometimes that works. But I personally think it is more sustainable to ask first. Mm-hmm. And so I actually got started by reading the book Friendly Local Game Store. And that was hugely helpful. It's both that and the author's YouTube channel are just a lot of reasons why you should not open a game store. And I kind of went down a rabbit hole one day and watched a bunch of those videos. And I was kind of like, I understand what you're saying. And I really still want to do it. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is so useful because this is so useful because I'm getting some strategies for how to deal with some of these issues. I am learning about things that I probably wouldn't have seen coming, but this more and more is convincing me that like this is a thing that I want for myself and for my community. And so when we get to the part about stocking, buying games, I learned about Gamma actually through that book, the Game Manufacturers Association. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of my way in. That was how I learned about kind of the different roles within the industry, but it's also where I looked for guidance as to what to buy, at least initially. So It's a combination of like talking to other retailers, kind of seeing what has worked well for them, what publishers are reliable, what I should expect from different distributors, and also just listening to customers. So that the year that Rowan joined us was the second year that we did that market, right? The year before, I was just sort of, I was winging it. It was our like second month since we'd opened, and we suddenly have 2 locations. It's the busiest time of the year, and I am operating on hope and a dream. And we did really well, but I noticed patterns, right? I get a lot of folks who are asking for that year. I think it was a Chameleon. It was a bunch of like big potato games. I was like, okay, well, there's a pattern here. Like, let's look into big potato games. We had a bunch of people who were asking about like ransom notes. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's take a look at very special games. Because throughout the season, you know, I get requests for at least once for nearly all of their games. I'm like, okay, that's a pattern. Like, that's something that I can feel pretty confident about bringing in, because people know about these things. And, you know, there are sort of modern classics. There are gateway games that are generally will work pretty well. Things like Catan or Azul,
Ticket to Ride,
Splendor.
Kind of your evergreens.
Yeah. Yes. And then beyond that, sort of as time's gone on, we sort of develop our favorites and our specialties. And it's a sweet spot. It's finding the sweet spot between the thing that you really love personally and the thing that you're really good at selling. For example,
just put me on the spot. So if you'll look at our social media, there is one video where I am on camera talking about, like, you know, what's your favorite board game without saying what your favorite board game is. I'll go first. And I made it because it was off of a joke where we should have a like chart, like days since this game has been sold. And it's like, I'll show it to you when we finish up here, but it's literally a sign that's like days since Kinfire has been sold. And so I'm very good at selling anything in like the Kinfire line. I sell Kinfire Delve at least like a few times a week.
Wow.
At the very least, like once a week. And it's purely because like, and I do, to my credit, I hope, give the other 2-player games enough time. I always, like, unless I'm talking to someone, because I usually like opening up a conversation with, like, what have you been playing lately? And trying to gear the conversation towards that and my recommendations. But if it, like, seems like a fit right off the bat, it usually is. Because it's a 2-person, like, dungeon delving game. It's only card-based. You also get to roll dice. Like, it hits a lot of sweet spots for a lot of people. So, but I do try to recommend it last. That's kind of my closer. But yes, no, I like, it's purely, I think people enjoy seeing other people excited, and that gets them excited about like the, you know, trying this new thing that like they never heard of before. So yes, but then, you know, it's that thing where it's like, I want everybody to play this game. I should probably recommend something else just in case though.
Yeah. Do you ever sell Kinfire as like an add-on, so somebody picks something up and it's like, by the way,
100%.
let me spread the good word of Kinfire Delve.
So part of my part of my pitch specifically for Delve is like, there are 3 games in the series and you can mix and match them. You can have a 1 to 2-player game, or if you add a 3 to 4-player game, or a really janky 5 to 6-player game if you have all 3. It's not recommended, but you could if you wanted. And so like, usually I stick to like the first game in the series, just so, because the other games have cards that are for all of the heroes that are involved in the series. But if I know that somebody has either gotten Delve before and they come back to the store, we'll move on to like Chronos, which is a much bigger purchase and a little bit of a harder sell. But like, if you enjoy the world and you want to learn more about it, that is a great way to get just an injection of lore into your veins for the Kinfire series. And then now Council has come out, and so like that's a very different play style, and so like that might appeal to other people. But like same kind of thing, not just for like the Kinfire series. If there's like another series of games where it's like Loop, for example, like Loop does sell itself. That is a 2-player game where you're herding cats. And it's like if a holiday is coming up close, they have a edition or a Christmas edition. Or just like, you know, if there's other games in the series, it's like, well, try this one.
Yeah, Azul works really well for that too.
Azul does work really well for that.
Kind of find the right level of strategic depth for what that person is looking for, which like usually, admittedly, is the original Azul.
Yeah.
But you got levels. You got levels to work with.
Absolutely.
So do you find when you're doing the holiday market that you have a much more curated selection to maybe more of a mass market audience as opposed to what you normally stock in the store?
I would say once a year when we do the market or a sort of holiday thing is we have like, so we have a 30 and under section specifically, but that one is one that is like on our list because that's like white elephant gifts for your work. That's like stocking stuffers. That one I think it's a little bit more curated. That's one section that comes to mind. Puzzles, another one.
Yeah, it's definitely more curated, largely because it's a very small space.
Yeah.
We still pack it pretty full. Still work in the cantrip candles because those are really awesome gifts, and also people just love them. They're great. Which actually brings me back to your earlier question. Another thing that we try to focus on, and this sort of overlaps with the question of what we feature, especially during the holidays, games that were created in some fashion, whether that's design or publishing or what have you, by Black creators and also local creators. And so Cantrip Candles is a really great example. It's a Black-owned company out of LA, and their products are amazing. They smell fantastic. There's some contention on some of those.
Some of them are, that's
Joseph
questionable.
McCall, I'm looking at you.
Very divisive. Some people cannot stand it. Some people love it. There was no in between. But we also have a whole bunch of like Michigan designers, and we try to focus on them during the holidays, especially because people get really excited about, oh, this is a Michigan person, like, oh, this is a Detroit thing. So for example, there is Motor City Game Works, and they have a game called Motor City.
Yep.
Though they're definitely the most popular, at least for us, and I think in general, Three Sisters. But that's awesome. We actually had a family come in the last year that we did the market who's related to one of the guys at Motor City Game Works, and they got all excited because they saw this whole section dedicated to like their uncle's games, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And last year the big thing actually was Detroit Monopoly.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can talk about, you know, how Monopoly's merits as a game, but the Detroit focus and people being able to see that kind of sort of recognition of Detroit, and we are actually also on the board.
That's cool.
It's really fun, and that was a huge chunk of our holiday revenue. Was this one game? We sold close to 1,000 copies in a month.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to rent a storage unit just to hold the Monopoly. It was wild. People really love Detroit. And so that's a big focus as well. Like, if there is something that is about Detroit or is made by someone who lives in Detroit, like until recently, the Night Cage. We're so sad that the Christmas has left us.
No.
Anytime you have that local connection, it's really big for people.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had talked about community earlier, Aisha, and I want to bring you back to that and kind of talk about the importance of community to the store's success. You do a lot of community events, especially on your socials. You know, you advertise, hey, we're having these game nights. You can come in, you can learn how to play this. We want people that are regular in the store that we know, that we want to introduce you to all these different games. How important has that been in building your business up?
absolutely vital. It is everything. I like can't talk about our community without like getting emotional about it because it's so good. It's so good. The people who come here make the store. And like I said, when we originally opened, the point was to make something where anybody could feel welcome because it's supposed to be fun. And it feels like we have done that. When, people will come in and like it'll be a woman bringing a first date because she feels safe here.
Yep.
Or have like a lot of trans regulars. It's a very queer space, and that wasn't necessarily like I didn't build for any one group in particular. I want a space that is safe and fun where people in general feel welcome, and that happened. And anytime that we have like a bunch of regulars in the store, I will periodically just kind of look out at the tables and like feel my feelings because it's exactly what I wanted.
I know. I remember the first time that it kind of hit that like we were people's third place. Like that was a very big thing. There is something that cannot be underestimated about the emotion that comes with being somebody's third place. Like you're like you are the place that you have poured blood, sweat, tears, money, time into, and somebody recognizes that and then pours back into your cup with just like being comfortable where you are and recognizing that and getting to know people like on a first name basis. And there's like a few different events that we have that help to facilitate like regulars coming in, like we casual Magic League, community game nights. We have a group of people who come in and play like a different game every single Friday. And the best part is when they all find each other.
Yes.
Like people like becoming Discord friends, or like the Friday group is a group of regulars. It's a couple, it's an older gentleman, and then it's another person for like different event type things. And they all kind of found each other and they play consistently like these longer games. They're often the last people in the store on Fridays because we're open until midnight, and so it'll be like 11:59, and we're like, like, hey guys,
Hate to tell you.
yeah, like turn off the lights on and on like a theater, like it's time to go.
They're like going over to each other's houses to play games when we're closed. It's really beautiful.
It's very, very.
And I think that's one of those interesting things that you just kind of create the environment that you want. And you had mentioned that some of the game stores were kind of becoming more of a unsafe space, that you didn't feel welcome, that you didn't feel comfortable. One of the game stores in the Cleveland area is owned by a cishet white guy, but he has been incredibly good at making sure that people are treated well, that the space is welcoming, open. And he asked me the one time, he says, I don't understand why I have so many queer customers. And I said, that's because we talk. We tell each other this is a good space if you want to go here, because we're loyal. We want to make sure that places stay in business and we continue to have that community. And I think that that is so incredibly vital for somebody who's looking to make a store, that you really focus on that community and what you want to build. It's great to sell games, but I think it's also equally satisfying, if not more, to build up that community like you have.
Well, you forget, like sometimes too, where it's like mainly on the profits, you forget that you need somebody. And so like having, the more welcoming you are, the more people you're able, and then you have to have another board game after that. So yeah, I mean, like it really truly is just like listening to what people, and then also like inviting them in kind of as well, where it's like They become part of the process for like, it's like come into the store, like what events people want to see. Like we'll always give it a college try, you know, as far as like, so we had one event that happened that we're starting to kind of bring back and make more consistent, like paint and takes, BYO RPG, which is, and just different things like that. Like we always, like if somebody has something, we will always give it a try.
What have you learned in running the store? Any fun anecdotes and things like that, but learnings as well?
Yeah. I think, the biggest thing for me has been being more flexible. I came, like I said, I came into running the store without a ton of knowledge. And so kind of started out knowing that I would be like looking for guidance from people who'd done things before. So like that's a big reason that I applied to Gamma's Horizon Fellowship. I was very fortunate to go through that program. And that extends to a lot of different things. It took me a while to feel comfortable hiring. It took me literally I was still working a full-time job, and we had the store and we were at this market.
Oh, wow.
And I'm literally taking meetings in the snow, like outside with my laptop. And I'm like, we need help. And it's a combination of, I've never done this before. I don't want to mess it up because now we're talking about somebody else's livelihood. And also, like, in order to grow, we have to do this. And so letting go of my fear about messing up someone's pay, and also letting go of some control. Letting Rowan and now Sarah take on their own projects. So Rowan, pretty quickly after becoming an employee, like just took over our social media entirely. And like one of the best things that
kills it, by the way,
that has happened to me in running this business. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I'm bad at it, and I don't intend to get better. I rely entirely on Rowan.
That is the difference between Aisha and I, is that we both hate social media. I'm just good at it.
That makes three of us. I can't stand social media, but you know, I do understand that it's part and parcel of what we do.
Absolutely. And so you hire Rowan.
I need a Rowan. I have an Allie, but she's got another job in that to do, yeah. So she does good.
If I wasn't already doing social media for yet another person, I would offer my services. I gotta see where it goes after this. I might contact you in the new year.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for me, is in a lot of different forms, learning to be more flexible and let go when it's necessary.
Or when you're employ you.
I'm still working on it.
We just want to help.
What about you? You got anything?
For me specifically, because I Aisha, where like I never really felt comfortable going to places, because I would go with like my partner or like his friends, and constantly felt like I was being watched the entire time. And so like, but always having an interest in things. So a lot of my learning has just been about like board games in general, or like I came in knowing a pretty good amount about like RPGs, but like learning more of the indie stuff, not just like the big names. Learning more about like how things work, what mechanics are. I came in with retail skills already, so kind of going from, and I've worked like big box to like smaller niche stores as well. And I think part of it is like I had been out of social media and just like marketing and stuff for a long time. So a lot of this was like rehearsals that like I went to school for. So it is nice to be like, haha, I get to use my degree every day, because not everybody gets that.
Not everybody does.
But yeah, no, a lot of it is like learning more and more about like the community. And like I am so fascinated by how well Aisha can network. And like that's what my next thing is I want to learn from her, is just like her ability to connect with people and connect people to each other is incredible. And it is like not a skill that everybody has. But the one thing I won't learn, because we have a bit about it, is Magic the Gathering and Warhammer. Like, the joke has gone on long enough, and I will continue it until it's not funny.
It's all right. I got Sarah for that.
We have Sarah for that, which is why.
Exactly. You need the right person for the right position.
Mm-hmm. And she caught on hook, line, and sinker. So many packs of Bloomborough. We love her for it.
Truly.
How have you seen kind of the landscape change since tariffs have been implemented? And it was one thing that when we were at Gamma, it was one thing. Mm-hmm. And then it very much like during the course of Gamma became something else.
Yeah.
And then it became something else. And now it's something entirely different. And tomorrow it might be something else. What have you seen as far as business and how your approach has kind of evolved since the tariffs have been put in place?
Yeah. So it's the becoming something else continuously that is the problem, for us at least. If we don't know how much publishers are going to have to pay, that means we don't know how much we are going to have to pay publishers. And it also means that we don't know when we're going to receive product. And that's been a pretty big thing for us pretty much from the beginning. Mm-hmm. We were much more than we have lately backing a lot of crowdfunded projects. And then taking pre-orders for those projects. Mm. And, I do that pretty sparingly. I have always done that pretty sparingly because, you're never 100% sure if something is being crowdfunded, whether that thing will come to be.
Yep.
But for publishers that I feel confident in, I will take pre-orders ahead of time. So, for example, we just got A Place for All My Books into the store and sent 10 copies out yesterday. All of those were pre-ordered well before the games came in. And I was getting emails pretty frequently from people asking, when are you getting your order of A Place for All My Books? When are you getting your Dagger Heart? When are you getting your, whatever the new thing was this year? And so I have, in response, really solidified that pre-order process. So there are like different stages on the website. If it's something that I know is coming, and only if I know it is coming, that is then available online for purchase. But before that, if I'm not sure, or if it's something that's going to be allocated, then, so like a Magic the Gathering, or Pokemon especially Pokemon, then I'll say, hey, here's a little form. All you have to do is give me your email. I will automatically get a formatted message that tells me what your email address is and what product you want. And I will put that in a spreadsheet, and then I will email you when I know, in chronological order, I will email you when I know how much I am getting and when. And that has been working out really well. Everybody, more or less, knows at least that they are getting a thing, if not when. Mm-hmm. And that has meant that we have lost a little bit of money on some things. Some things, I'm not going to go after a customer for the extra $5 that I am paying for this board game. Mm-hmm. But that, in combination with sort of refocusing on in-store events and other things that don't require us to purchase new product, has helped a lot. And in a year that I think could have been really, really unstable and is really unpredictable, we've continuously been sitting at around a 55% increase in revenue over this point last year.
Wow.
And that's coming back to the community. Like that's
Really, yeah.
been largely thanks to them. We have amazing regulars. We've started doing RPG campaigns in the store. So we've got a handful of local GMs. They kind of pitch their campaigns, and on a seasonal basis, so every 3 months, we do 12-week campaigns, and those have been going really well. People have really, really loved them, and that is utilizing actually the space that we're recording in right now in a way that it wasn't before. And it allows us to sort of put some money back into the local gaming community. The GMs make 2/3 of the cost to customers. And, you know, I'm just hoping to expand that as well.
And I think this is one of those opportunities that you can go and say, you know, you might have missed this with all the games that come out and all, you know, the different products and that. You might have missed this game. Why don't we go back to that?
Absolutely.
Let me introduce you to this and revisit some of those things that got forgotten over time. One of the things that we're kind of on our way to Grand Con, and I packed 3 bags of games because, you know, the massive game library at Grand Con obviously is not enough. But one of the games that we talked about was like Santa Monica. And Allie loves that game. And it got completely forgotten because of the pandemic and because of everything that was coming out. And I think that this is a great opportunity to maybe revisit some of those old, you know, games that kind of came out a couple of years ago that might have got swept by the wayside in favor of the new hotness. But now we can revisit that and, you know, kind of what's old is new again.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of leagues and campaigns and whatnot, we just wrapped up a Root League, which I'm not going to say that Root has been forgotten.
Right.
But it is an older game.
Yeah.
And we've collectively, I don't know that I've taught more than like 3 people to play, but collectively, we have taught so many people to play in the last year. We ran a league, which was almost entirely Rowan organizing.
It was definitely an experience, and it came from another event that we had, because we do the first Friday of every month is Big Board Game Day. Essentially, we take the step of like learning a game for an hour and a half kind of out. We're there to like help you kind of every step of the way. We teach you how a game is supposed to go. Root was one of those where it's like people haven't played in a really long time and like really wanted to play. And so for like $10, they were able to come and play Root, and like they brought their boards just in case like more people wanted to play, and like they have all their factions and let other people borrow them. And it's like having that community kind of based around this board game. We were like this is something really special, and so many people were upset that they weren't able to make it. Like, let's try and do something with that. I forgot where I was going with this because I love our Root players so much. I feel like I talk about them all the time.
There was a point where I was out of town. This is a little bit of a tangent, but I was refereeing a goalball tournament, and in between matches, I'm looking at my phone and I'm watching in the Discord people just casually arranging a drop-in Root game.
Okay.
We had an impromptu Root game. We managed to get 4 people on the board. They brought Riverfolk. And it all happened, and we started at 2:00. We all started playing Root, and then we were done, and I was the only person in the store. And so like while I'm watching the store, I'm like sitting down and taking my turns with the Erie, and like they said it couldn't be done, but we got an impromptu game of Root in just on a Saturday afternoon.
Wow. That's incredible.
Like that's how much people enjoy this game.
And each other.
And then each other too. Like a lot of those people, like they come in and they hang out for different events. A lot of them are regulars. So like we're name dropping people, right? Or
Might as well.
Yeah.
I do it sometimes.
So like Tyler and Latif come in for like Magic. Latif will also come in for Warhammer. Chris is always there whenever there's like a board game. And him and his partner Vista will also come in for like karaoke and stuff like that. which we also do karaoke. So like it's really fun when you have one thing and then it just kind of spiders off into all of these sub things, and like people start to get involved with a whole bunch of stuff.
Definitely. The paint and takes as well.
Paint and takes, yes. Because then that has crossover with our Saturday campaign that we have running in here. Because sometimes after their campaign is done, they'll come in and like paint some stuff that they then take to their next campaign and they can use for minis on the board.
That's so cool. And again, all circling back to building community. It wouldn't be possible without it.
No, community so much. They're everything that this store, like we have the foundation and they build the house essentially.
So what have you two found yourselves playing lately?
We're definitely going to get in a game of Flock together. I play a lot of games. That is absolutely part of the job. I find that it makes it a lot easier to sell when you have intimate knowledge of how to play a thing, and also it's fun. So most recently we got in Ink, which is this really beautiful game, and so far I've only played the solo version, but I'm really enjoying that. I have a few favorites that I go back to. Woodcraft is one of them. I have been playing Everdell Duo with my partner Ben that I really enjoy. We had a lot of legacy games that we're just so very slowly making our way through. Started a game of Sagrada Artisan.
I was just about to say.
So good though.
Yeah.
And so that's me, Ben, Sarah, and Sarah's girlfriend. We're all playing Sagrada Artisans. We're only like 2 sessions in. I really like that one too. And I've really never been a big Sagrada person. Something about the shiny box got me.
It's so good. I love that game.
Lately, I really don't get too much time to like play games with people, but there definitely have been games I'm excited for. So like I was excited when we got Pina Colada Dice and Gwent whenever it gets here.
It's coming.
I was
Someday.
told it was coming. It was supposed to be here before that. But I will probably thoroughly enjoy Gwent when it comes in. I think also too, so Aisha, myself, and then Sarah will also have like game days where it's like, we were kind of interested in this. This is a new game on the shelf. Like, what if we give this a try? So like A Place for All My Books, we were gonna do a run of as well. So we can talk about that with customers a little better. Ink, it sounds like we should also get on the table.
Never mind that both of us have played Flock together. We know it very well.
It's just Sarah that hasn't played Flock together, and so
you gotta bring her into the fold.
Same thing with Daybreak too, because I was like, because Daybreak, I really love Daybreak, and so Sarah just kind of, I think one day was like, you talk about Daybreak all the time, like why don't we play it? And immediately. And then we as soon as we finished that one game of Daybreak, we were like, we were really close. Do you guys want to go again?
One day.
Yeah.
One day.
We'll win
day.
that game. Other than that, I've just been playing games. I've been playing a lot of Peak lately.
I've seen that
It's
on
so
YouTube.
funny.
It looks so cute.
It's really...
I love when people just miss that ledge and they just scream all the way down. So just falling and falling and falling.
Character when you do it too. Like I find myself also like doing little screams or like mimicking like climbing sounds like I'm actually physically climbing.
Awesome.
It's really silly. I do recommend it.
I gotta try that out at some point.
Especially if you get like a good group of people who like won't leave you behind, because there are consequences if you get left behind. But like, because that's rule 0 is you don't leave your buddy. It's so silly. I recommend it.
So if people want to get a hold of you on socials or visit the store, how can they do that?
Yes. So we are Opal Grove Games on all of our socials. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, potentially YouTube in the future. We do have a channel, but nothing quite on that yet.
Rowan's working on
We're
making
gonna,
me.
We're gonna make Aisha a board game influencer. We have fun. We do a mix of like informational posts. We do a mix of like game recommendations based off themes or like silly holidays. We also do sketches. We've got a lot of fun stuff going on. If you play Magic the Gathering and you follow that tag on either TikTok or of all things Reddit, you might have seen one of our posts blow up recently where we did Magic for Her.
I was going to mention that because that hit so hard. It was so good. Even Allie's talking in the other room
and
that she loved it.
And that was really like a group effort too, because it was like Sarah wrote the script, because again, for the bit, I don't know anything about magic. I know some things enough to be able to talk about it. And then I always do the editing. Aisha always is like a part of the videos. She's like, you know, kind of the like main actress and really freaking sold it on the voiceover work. It was so solid. It was really good. But yes, we did a magic for her video that did really, really well. And then, you can also, opalgrovegames.com. We have a contact form. You can reach out there or find information just in the tags or the search bar. You can search any of the events that we have going on. We have a calendar there. We post weekly events on Instagram. Or you can come visit us in store at 3546 Michigan Avenue.
Yeah.
I've written it so much that it's ingrained in me, but it's the anxiety thing of like, am I doing this right?
You are doing this right.
Thank you.
So yes, anybody in the Detroit area, more than welcome to come and visit us. We are right at the corner of Michigan and 25th Street. We are in the lower level of the building though. So you'll see like a little sandwich board sign.
We have a little sandwich board sign. We have our hours posted on the door. Yeah.
And we'll also be in downtown Detroit in November and December this year.
For the Cadillac Market. It is a holiday market. There's a lot of other local businesses. So if you're going there for ice skating or like the tree lighting, we're in that little like kind of section where like the mini houses are kind of. So you go get a cup of hot chocolate and then come hang out at board game.
Yeah. And I tend to be the one going to conventions. So if you see somebody walking around with really big black hair, then come say hi.
Or also, speaking of conventions, our local anime convention in October, Youmacon, we will also be in the game room.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be my first time as a vendor. And we'll be specifically in the tabletop area. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's so awesome. Well, Aisha and Rowan, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. And I think I'm off to go peruse your wares.
Excellent.
Allie
just said that she already spent all our money, and that's great. We have a wedding in 38 days. Fantastic.
We'll help you out. We'll give you some recommendations. Let me talk to you about, have you heard of a game called Campfire Delve?
Campfire Delve. Please tell me more. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.